my golly gosh, there are so many of you. Hello, how are you all doing? Everything good? Good. That's grand. So, we've got a lot to talk about. We really do. It's really easy for us when it comes to RuneFest to get all excited as JMods and think, we can't wait to reveal what's coming up in 2017. It's actually really easy to forget we've got some good stuff, got some juicy stuff coming up this year. And that's what we're here to talk about. Because it's not only the stuff you know, the Arc Chapter 2, Fate of the Gods 2, SLISKE'S Endgame. We've got a few little treats. You know, we're going to reveal some stuff. Whether or not I go directly into RuneScape reveals afterwards, because I can't help but reveal everything, and all the facts just tumble out my mouth. We'll have to see. But today's about 2017. This is about 2016. After this talk, you've got combat. They've got some reveals too. And at 3:30, it's RuneScape reveals, so I expect to see you all in here again. Okay, all right. So, to talk about each of the individual things, we're going to be bringing up the people who are responsible for them, for better or worse. So, we're going to start off with Joe. So, give him a polite welcome. I think this is your first time on main stage?
It is, yeah.
No.
It's amazing to be here. It's crazy.
So, Joe is kind of leader, head honcho, big cat of the Guardians. So if you played kind of Dimension of Disaster, Lord of Vampirium, things like that, that's you guys.
Vampire Quest, yeah.
Yes, but also the Ark.
Yes, and Aquarium.
Indeed, Aquarium, when we were both fish.
Yes.
So, with the Ark, obviously we released that in that dirty word, batches. We released them in 2 batches. So the first batch came out, and now we've got the second batch, which is coming in October, and that's how this talk's going to go. We're going to go from October to November to December. We start with October, but having batches means that we could learn from batch 1.
Yes.
And now we can make the Ark complete. So how is it becoming complete?
Well, releasing it in 2 batches was interesting. We got lots of really good feedback. I think a couple of things that we're looking at focusing on for the next batch in October. So one of the things was making traveling around the Ark to Uncharted Isles as easy as possible. So we're going to do 6 things that will help. So first of all, the cost of supplies. Yep. That's going to be massively reduced, so it won't cost as much chimes. The supplies that you use, you'll need fewer of them to travel to further islands. We're going to reduce the cap so that you won't be capped on the number of supplies you've got. You'll be able to find supplies on random islands. You'll be able to get a rare drop to give you a free ticket. And Rosie's going to go crazy and give 50 free supplies on launch.
Supplies out for
free supplies, but you won't be penalised if you don't go back every day. Basically, go and collect them all, and then whenever you want to go exploring, you can, and you won't be penalised.
So what we knew, or what we realised from the Ark Batch 1 was that the best stuff, the really enjoyable things about the Ark are on Uncharted Isles. It's harder to get there. A lot of people were just kind of working away on bamboo, making their gumbo and things like that. And this is all to get you onto Uncharted Isles, rolling and getting better resources.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's a big part of it.
And the XP rates are absolutely fantastic. And with the Ark too, I wonder if I can show the screenshots for the slides.
Ooh. No? We'll wait for those to kick in.
Wait for this. But yeah.
So if we go back 1.
There we go. Connor said don't go back. I'll go back 1.
Here we go.
So it's talking about Rosie, the changes to supplies. One of the other things that we found when we released the Ark 1 was we were so focused on getting the closed economy working. Yeah. We didn't really have anything as a reward that you could take out of the closed economy back into the game. So we've had to rethink about the rewards. We want to do 3 things, which you'll be able to, unlock in the Ark, then take back out into the main game. So
but it's more than 3 things. We're just announcing 3 things.
I'm just going to tell you 3,
yes.
And then maybe one of us will blurt them out at some point during this talk, possibly later on. But the 3 things I was going to cover today was some tier 85 boots and gloves for the ports armor.
So that's the existing ports armor.
Complete the set.
And that gives a set effect as well?
Maybe.
All right, okay. All right, we'll talk about that.
The armor is one thing. Also, we're talking about adding a something like the equipment siphon for invention, but a crystal tool version of that will basically, if you've got the crystal tools, you'll be able to get even better invention XP from siphoning.
Treats them as a higher tier for the XP.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And last one.
We want to do a hunter outfit.
Yep.
And actually, on my phone, I was able to get the latest hot off the press concept art from Jan, and I was going to think, maybe I could show you guys this. It's here. But obviously, you can't see it. That's too small. So I'll put it on something called the internet later. I'll tweet about it, and then everyone can see. But yeah, it looks pretty sweet. Okay. So the concept there would be, it's a 5-piece set. You get like a 1% boost for every one. If you get all 5, you get a 6% boost. The interesting thing, though, it will work with the yak tree stick.
Yep.
So I think that would take it up to 11%.
Turn it all the way up.
All the way up to 11. So there
We
we
are
go.
so old.
So
All
yeah.
right. So that's how it's making the arc feel complete. But
Rewards.
there's also
Yeah.
the notion of more islands. So we're completing the arc, island chain.
Exactly. So obviously everyone knows the arc. We basically made a commitment when we took on this project to let the
Yes.
player go to like all of the
It's that
arc
weird
islands.
thing, like when we did player-owned ports, we were just like, everything's just in an interface. You know, we could put as many islands as we want in the arc.
Yeah.
Little did we know that you guys would vote for it in a poll, and we'd have to create every single island,
It is-
including things like the islands that once were turtles. I mean, what is that?
Yeah, it is.
But
It is crazy.
Creatively, that's been really kind of
It's
interesting.
very strange having that as our brief in terms of
so gonna fall off this
these
thing.
are all of the islands. Yes. So these are all of the islands we're going to do. So we're talking about adding 4 new islands, 4 new
Yep.
named islands that you'll be able to go to. So Cyclosis, the islands that once were turtles, which is really 3 islands, Twilight, and Goshima as well.
Yep.
So basically, once this update comes out, you'll be able to travel all across the region and do some things.
Should we just talk about it, or should we show it?
Well, yes, I've got some concept art for Cyclosis that I wanted to show you because we've had a bit of fun with that. We've never been able to go to like a proper Cyclops island before, so the concept of this kind of land of the giants feeling, everything is super large. The Cyclopses are really big.
Cyclopes.
The Cyclopes.
There
Do
we
you
go.
know the collective noun
I do. It is a doubting of Cyclopes. There you go. You can take that home to your parents.
I'm not sure that's true.
That's
That can't be true.
Keep going.
So yeah, Cyclosis Island. You'll be able to explore, talk to some NPCs. There was one of the mini quests which will take place there, and then there's some of the cool priests that we've got.
I have a strange affinity for the big-faced Cyclops on the left.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here, and also I don't know if anyone's seen, but there is a Cyclops suit, the Ikahi Cyclops suit that is it's massive. I've seen people walk around in it. It's huge. If you can get a chance, have a look at it. But it is really really hot. I did prototype.
Yeah.
It was not pleasant on the day the air conditioning didn't work. So that's Cyclosis. We're skilling as well, so we should talk about skilling. So
Yes.
2 of the things that we're definitely going to be adding to the whole system will be divination. There'll be some brand new divination energy for you to collect. You can get chimes, you'll be able to use that to buy other things, but also the divination on the Uncharted Isles themselves, very, very, very lucrative XP rates.
That's good stuff. So it's the same as the other skinning elements, which
Yeah.
is on the kind of the normal scripted islands, not cracking XP rates, but this is to get
You
you
only
chimes,
just get enough chimes.
and then you're getting some of the best XP rates
Yeah.
and the best resources in the game.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, they're still viable if you don't have the super duper high level,
Yep.
but you know, it would be a good way of getting
Sweet,
chimes. And then farming would be the other thing. So there's some very lazy gnomes on Twilight who basically want the player to harvest the berries for them. So you'll be able to go around, explore, and collect some berries and get some good farming XP.
Yes, and making a complete arc also means completing a story. Oh,
Yeah.
so that's for the Uncharted
Oh,
Isles.
so yeah, obviously everything we talked about, we're going to feed back into the Uncharted Island system, so
Yeah.
you can go back and do exploring. One of the things I wanted to quickly illustrate here was the concept of refinements to the contract system. So although divination and farming are the 2 main additions we've also added a few other just base level 90 skills. So for instance, herb lore, construction, thieving. You'll be able to get tiny little contracts, a bit of extra XP, go
Yeah.
to islands, do things like light a few braziers and things like that.
So it's just going to feel more richer when
Yeah,
you're going through Uncharted.
I mean, one of the feedback points that we got from players was going to Waiko, like I couldn't pickpocket. So
Yeah.
we've added little things like thieving here and little things like pickpocketing some NPCs. I think help kind of just bring the
All right.
interactions to the islands.
Well, let's rattle on with story, of course. There's
I went
Castaways.
too far. Wow, that's a really... There we go.
There we go. We got a greasy clicker, which is my new stage name. I've decided.
I think it'll stick.
This is the main antagonist.
Exactly.
Effectively, a boat.
We've talked... It's not a boat. It's actually
Sorry.
a ship.
Is it a ship?
It's a ship.
Ah.
So
Evidence.
we talked about the Harbinger before, but you've never actually seen it up until this
Yes.
point. We're talking about adding at least 5 more mini quests, and the difference between Arc 1 and Arc 2, all of the mini quests will flow on from each other, so it's more like playing parts of like a
Progressing through a quest.
one
campaign.
continuing arcing storyline.
Oh, very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
but this is quite a cool model for Alex to create. We wanted to create like a threat to the
A
player.
narboat.
So the concept of the player going up against this with I think they've got 46 guns, 46 cannons. You can't quite see them. Player ship's got 0 cannons. So that's going to be
That's
interesting.
a problem. Okay. And one of the things that we really want to do in terms of making the arc feel complete is also that notion of just breaking up the training. It can feel, if on that same hub, that same node for a long period of time. You want something to break it up, and that's where we've gone to town.
So we've added a few things. Yeah, so this is an example here of some of the castaways that you can find. So explore all of the islands, you find some lore drops, you can get some castaways that you can talk to.
Yep.
We wanted to add like sort of NPCs that would maybe show up. So we're talking about a concept of like implings that are indigenous to the Ark, and we wanted to reimagine them, and we came up with these guys, the Bakami.
So very much like the implings we know.
Yeah, the jelly beanie characters down there in the bottom left, I really, really like, and it makes me want to eat jelly beans every time I see this concept.
These kind of floating jelly bean boys.
Exactly.
Kind of implings. And these masks are just amazing. I love them. We've actually tried to commission some for the office.
Yes.
I mean, that's how much we like them.
Yeah, they're
so expect
really
those in the background of kind of live streams in the future.
I mean, when Damo was modeling these, we kind of felt actually it's not that much extra effort to make them, player
versions
as well. So the concept would be if you find them, and some of them are rarer than others, find them, you get the XP for finding them, you get a cool drop table just like implings.
Yeah.
You can catch them and then take them to an impling collector, and you'll be able to like extract the mask and then wear it.
And obviously we want to be up with the kids and be cool, so we've put in bird watching.
Everyone likes bird watching.
Everybody likes
bird watching. Is cool. So the concept of
is that really the biggest roar of the night? Is bird watching? Amazing. I love it.
So, we've got a new Avianci NPC on Cyclosis.
Odd Billy.
There. Odd Billy, yes.
Yes.
Who isn't Avianci, but he does bird watching as well. I'm not sure.
It's a bit weird that a bird likes bird watching.
Yes.
It's like...
But he is so enthusiastic in his dialogue. He is really, really happy.
A little spoiler, the one of those up on the screen is a great pecker. So I'm sure you'll all enjoy looking for that.
Yes. Yeah, there's Waiko Warbler. All of these birds you'd be able to find. They'll be like different, some of them will be hidden on different islands and things like that.
Okay. And all of this is collecting in one place?
Yeah, so with the Ark, we feel like this is bringing it all. We want to basically draw a line under the Ark. There's lots of now things to do. It is a massive sandbox. There's the mini quests, all of the skilling activities, all of the contracts, and all of the things you can discover. Yeah. We kind of thought like keeping track of that and feeling like we want the player to feel like you're kind of completing the Ark or going towards it and discovering everything. So we created this journal as a way of tracking everything that you can produce. So all of the implings
you'll be filling that up.
Basically, yeah.
And it'll be a pocket slot item.
Pocket slot, yeah. You can get it back at any time from the tourist guide in Waiko.
So it's worth also mentioning that if we're talking about October, the Guardians have also got Halloween.
Yes.
So go on, give us a short synopsis of what that might be.
Well, one of the projects that we really, really liked working on the Guardians was the Dimension of Disaster, and I've been itching for an opportunity, for an excuse to go back to the dark dimension. And we think the Halloween project is the perfect time to do that. So with Halloween Update, we want to darken the mood, but lighten the tone. So I think what we're going to do is experiment with what would invention be like in the dark dimension where you could actually disassemble living things.
So you're taking dead matter, living matter, breaking it up, Frankenstein style.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dr. Frankenstein style.
Expect to see Frankenstein, expect to see mini Zemmereagle. It will be basically an extension of the 200th quest, the Dimension of Disaster.
So living armor is coming.
Potentially, yeah. I think the working title, Invention of Disaster.
There we go. All right, so that's your October. So I'm going to send you away.
Okay.
Can I show
my video?
Oh, go on, show a video.
Okay, we do have a little video just showing the work in progress we've got with the Ark.
With the Ark. All right, enjoy.
Cool, thank you. There you go.
Beautiful. All right, that look good? Cool. So, all right, now we're moving into November. Yes, Fate of the Gods 2. You forgot about it, right? This is a big thing. Woo! Woo! Oh, you're up. I was going to intro you, but...
Yeah, no, I jumped the gun. I'm kind of just worried I'm not going to be able to beat bird watching now.
Bird watching, yeah. I don't think the Fate of the Gods 2 Raw was as big as bird watching.
I'm not sure.
Never mind. That's how it goes. So yeah, hello to Mod Ollie, who is responsible with the watch for, well, November.
Yes.
All right, so not everybody knows why Fate of the Gods 2 is the best thing since sliced bread. So take
It's a little bit surprising. So I guess to start talking about Fate of the Gods 2, we've first got to talk about the prequel. So I want to get a massive cheer from everyone here who's played Fate of the Gods 1. Yes. So I think everyone in the room understands how much of a big deal Fate of the Gods 2 is, because in Fate of the Gods 1, of course, what we did was something massive, something you've all been waiting for. We brought back Zaros. He's one of the most mysterious of our gods. He's one of the most beloved as well, even though we hadn't met him yet. But in Fate of the Gods 1, obviously, you got to go face-to-face with him, talk to him about all your burning questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Fate of the Gods 2, that's where we really want to find out what he's been up to since you brought him back. So he's got all these goals and motivations, but he kind of keeps them a little bit concealed. So we want to explore that. And we also want to go into detail with some of his relationships. So obviously, some of his most important relationships are with the Marjarat, some of his followers. Yep, we've got some fans of Marjarat out there. So
Marjarat in the audience there.
Obviously, what we want to do, I think that's maybe an Azanadra fan over there.
No, Haziel. She's wearing Haziel.
So, yeah, obviously, we've got all these Marjarat, and I feel like they've kind of been in the shadow of their gods a little bit. So Zamorak and Zaros, they've got their followers, but the Marjarat are really dedicated to them. But we really want to explore the nature of the
They felt like they
Marjarat.
didn't have a place. Like,
Exactly.
you know, they were knocking on the door in kind of missing presumed death.
Yeah. In particular, Zamorakians, they seem in a little bit of disarray. So we really want to go into sort of more detail about the nature of the Marjarat. We want to explore their past and also explore their future, what's going to happen to them in coming events.
Yeah.
So obviously, we've got to visit Frenesque to do that. We have to go to the homeworld of the Marjarat. And yep, we should have, lovely little image of Frenesque there. So we've been to Frenesque before. Fate of the Gods 1, you've all played it, obviously, and you've visited Frenesque, but we want to go somewhere new. So when we go to Frenesque, there'll be a brand new area, there'll be new visuals, and there'll be a lot of new surprises along the way.
And one of the things that we did a survey with all of you, which I'm sure all of you answered. And you told us that you wanted more character-driven quests. You want to spend time with some of your favorite characters rather than necessarily just kind of blowing things up with gods. And so you're going to spend some time with some characters.
You'll get to blow up some stuff with gods too.
yeah, that's
You'll also get to spend a lot of time with the Marjarat, talk to them, find out
one in
some of
particular.
their more personal stories. And yeah, so Karshai, he's one that we've not involved too much lately, but he's going to be the one you interact with most during this quest. You're going to spend a lot of time with him. So what we've done is we've given him a new lick of paint. Obviously, on the left there, you can see his old model.
Dead-eye Karshai.
Yep, so we've given him some nice 6th age visuals, as we were calling them earlier. So yeah, he's hopefully we'll get to do that with a few of the other Marjarat as well.
I want to pop those feathers a bit more. We'll get
we'll get the
later.
feathers popping, some Fashionscape.
Okay.
So obviously the Marjarat, they're really important as well, but
the big thing, and I think the thing that I'm excited about is that notion of a confrontation, and that's between Zaros and obviously, well, the other big Z.
Yep, Zamorak. So Zaros and Zamorak is probably one of the most explosive rivalries we've got in our game, but the thing is, they've not come head-to-head for thousands of years, and the last time they did come head-to-head, obviously, Zamorak assassinated Zaros. So what is going to happen this time? Everyone's waiting to see what happens. Zaros is back. What's going to happen when they finally meet each other?
Yep.
And that's going to be it's going to be explosive, but we really want to dedicate a lot of time to that during the quest because it's such a big moment.
Yeah.
We know you guys are really anticipating it, so we've got to do it justice.
That's it. When we sit down to do the quest, we knew where we wanted the players to be spending the most time, most ramifications of the content. It's that point.
It's going to have big ramifications.
Okay, so that's all stuff that you probably already know. So let's move on to the stuff you don't necessarily know.
Yeah.
Title, you know, it's exciting to some. I'm excited.
I think the title's exciting.
Shall we reveal the title?
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's not necessarily going to be called Fate of the Gods 2.
It's going to be called
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Children of Mah. So, yeah, Children of Mah. It's exciting. That's what we'll be calling it from now on. Obviously, that's because of some of the characters we've spoken about. The Marjarat, Zaros, Zamorak, they're all Children of Mah. And it might give a little indication of some other characters that could be involved as well.
If you are looking to start getting the requirements for this quest, here we go.
We don't have any skill requirements for you yet, but obviously these are the quest requirements. So it is going to require, of course, you guessed it, Fate of the Gods. And it will require Dishonor Among Thieves as well, because of the involvement with Zamorak and the Marjarat, and also the Light Within. So another little clue there for some of you guys if you're paying attention. Okay. And then recommended, obviously, Ritual of the Marjarat and the World Wakes.
Yes, we're doing our 6th age thing there. Okay, Now, we have got a tidbit that we really like to reveal. Obviously, with quests, it's harder because you don't want to show off too much. We don't want to spoil it. We want you to enjoy it, immerse yourself. But there is something that we are adding into the quest that we can reveal now.
I've just been super excited to get up here and tell you guys about this because ever since I learned about this moment in RuneScape's history, I've wanted to bring it to life, just recreate it, allow you guys to live it, basically. So what we're going to do is, for the first time, we're going to allow you guys to witness the betrayal and go back and see when Zamorak assassinated Zaros.
And maybe even participate in it in some way.
It's going to be absolutely incredible. So you're going to go back, you're going to get to go to the throne room of Sentistan. You're going to be able to interact with the environment, with
all those characters.
Sentistan's denizens, and talk to them, take your time, but witness all those events that led up to, and then the actual betrayal itself. So it's going to be absolutely incredible.
Very much a work in progress, but we've been slowly kind of designing that throne room, working on what the player does.
The throne room is obviously something we really want to get right. And this is, just a work in progress image of what that might look like.
And can you talk about rewards? Is there anything you can say yet?
We want to do some similar things to Fate of the Gods 1, so hopefully we'll have a post-quest combat encounter.
Yep.
You can get things like that. And we've also got a few cosmetics, maybe things like bobbleheads coming along the way. So we'll build towards the little Margaret
maybe the little
ritual.
crystals, hunt around for RuneScape, that sort of thing.
All that good stuff.
And there's also another update within November. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so as if all this wasn't enough, we're also going to give you an update earlier on in the month, which is to help you get to the requirements to Fate of the Gods 1. So obviously we got a big cheer from all of you guys that did Fate of the Gods 1, but there might be some people out there who haven't got there yet. So we know there's some sticking points with things like mining, agility, divination.
Divination in particular.
Getting those requirements. So we're going to give you early access to the throne room, which is pretty awesome. So you're going to go to the dig site. There's an excavation there, and they've unearthed the actual throne room. Obviously, it'll be really old, covered in dust and rocks. And you've got to help with that excavation, and you'll earn XP along the way. And there's also going to be some juicy little bits of lore in there. So you master quest capers are going to want to go and get yourselves involved.
OK. All right, I think I'm done with you. Go sit.
Really? I don't want to sit back down. This is so much fun.
It's really warm. I know you want to sit down.
All right, I'm getting
All right, so one of the joys of being lead designer on a project, on a game, I do recommend it, is that you get to make your own passion projects. Things that nobody else in the company particularly wants to do, but you don't care. You tell them that they're making it. So this next one is mine. So I've only got myself to apologize for. OK. A small update, but I'm really excited about it. I'd like to introduce you to bank bidders. All right, what is bank bidders? This is probably thoroughly confusing. This is the ability for all of you to bid on the bank accounts of banned previous characters. I wish the team was as excited as you. This is awesome. All right, so don't worry if you've got kind of dormant accounts or accounts you've been left over. That's fine. Don't worry, they're safe. These are older bank accounts. We're only going to tell you a little bit about these accounts. We're going to tell you maybe the age, the accounts, what they like to do, maybe their skill levels. And then we start getting you. We're still talking about it. Maybe there's a kind of a raffle system. Maybe it's a bidding system. But ultimately, one of you will win that account and whatever is in it. We're also talking about a kind of high roller version, but even riskier accounts up. And then we live stream that, for example. But this is for all of you. So we know that this character, is 12 years old, banned for macroing woodcutting. Start bidding on that. So it could be, what could he be? Oh my. I've done quite well there. I'm quite happy with that. I've got myself a mask. Got myself some lucrative drops. Or maybe it could have been that. All right, so I'm sure you've got an idea of which one you prefer. So this is a little one, obviously a little bit inspired by Storage Wars and Storage Hunters. I don't care, I love it. So it's a fun little game, and it will be great for live streams. So now we're moving into December. So December is Christmas. Christmas, we thought you really liked last year's Christmas, so we're not diverting too much from that formula. So you're going to be getting an advent calendar, every day a little treat for you. You're going to be getting some small story-esque elements that will unlock some training methods, and that is all going to be coming Christmas with a lovely Christmassy theme, and you can be sure that it will be 15-year oriented. But for now, I would like to bring on the marvelous, the macabre Mod Raven.
The marvelous macabre. Hello, help me.
Rumor is that you've dropped 13 ravens around RuneFest for people
Oh,
to find.
yes, honestly, yep. There are 13 hidden ravens. Find them all, get a title.
If you get them all, you get a title. Amazing. All right, so let's not talk about Bang Bidders. SLISKE'S Endgame.
Yes, SLISKE'S Endgame. Woo. Yes! Applaud it!
So this is the Dukes. This is what you're working on.
What the Dukes
this is
are
your
working on.
baby,
Yep.
as it were. So why should we be interested in the Endgame?
Well, SLISKE'S Endgame is the final culmination of SLISKE'S big game. He's revealing what's going to happen with the Stone of Jazz. He's revealing everything he's set in motion. As you can see from the screen, we have things that have led up to this. We've had the death of Guthix, which has made some of you sad.
You always get so joyful when you say
I do. We've had the return of the gods. We've had world events. We've had, V, who turned up and died. We had Nomad come back with his
spoilers.
big
There are some
scheme.
spoilers here, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm spoiling everything. If you've not played all these quests, then you're in trouble. We had Kindred Spirits, where SLISKE did stuff with the player and tried to manipulate them and maybe siphon some of the player's soul away. And then, of course, we have Fate of the Gods 1 and then 2. We have loads of things in place to set this up. So this is the final storyline coming to a close.
And it's not going to come to a close in the way you necessarily think. So a lot of you might have thought there would be, as most things end, a big old scrap. That is not the case here.
Oh,
SLISKE has a different plan.
Yeah, so, I don't think anyone really thought SLISKE was just going to go, oh, well done, here's the stone, bye. Instead, SLISKE has more up his sleeve. He's got more fun to have. As you can see probably from the concept art that we have here, SLISKE has got a bit of an additional level of the game to play.
Yeah.
A sort of maze-like thing.
Yes.
I'm using the term like thing because we're trying some weird stuff.
Yes, we're being a bit we're trying things out.
Yeah, so he has lots to play, and of course, you're not the only person playing this. That's the key point. All of the invited gods invited gods and characters will also be playing this.
So you can imagine all of the confrontations, all of those different gods. Some don't like each other, some might cuddle. We don't know yet. And it's going to reflect your choices.
Yes, so at the moment, we have this massive spreadsheet with all of these different choices in, trying to work out how everything ties in. We have what I call the choice matrix, and we will be using that to reference what events will happen in this quest. So the choices
that makes an interesting one because we have very rarely made one quest feel different from one player to the other. So, would I miss stuff?
Well, this is the thing that we're trying.
Perfectly scripted.
Yes, indeed, well scripted. Not at all obvious. We are planning on making this quest repeatable, and we're writing it so that you will not get everything on the first playthrough.
Yes.
And key important point, your first playthrough is canon. So your choices that you've made, you will be locked into the choices you've already made on your first playthrough, and how you play that through is canon, it's locked in. But once you've played it through, we're hoping to be able to go back and be able to change your choice matrix. You can say, well, actually, maybe I didn't sacrifice Elened lethal. Maybe I didn't didn't kill Nomad. Maybe I did something else. And maybe I sided with a different god in a different quest line. And you could be able to see how that will play out.
So if you're interested in more on Fate of the Gods 2 or SLISKE'S Endgame, please do come to the Law corner, which is in the second stage, in the tent, like in the far right. Yep. For those on live stream, that will come out later on in the week. That's at 2?
That's at 2.
That is 2 o'clock. But we can now reveal the title. So obviously,
Indeed.
Fate of the Gods 2, we've revealed the title. SLISKE'S Endgame was just the working title.
So drum roll, please. We're going with SLISKE'S Endgame.
Yeah, it kind of did everything we wanted it to, so we didn't change it.
It just fitted.
Now, the more demanding and more tricksy slide is the next one. So this is the requirements. Now, remember, this is ending everything to do with the gods.
So these are just the quest requirements, not the skill, but we have basically everything ever is recommended, and everything ever is also required. So I hope everyone's got those requirements.
All right, there we go. Thank you so much, Mod Raven, for taking us through SLISKE'S Endgame. Begone.
Begone, indeed.
Begone. Okay, thank you all for coming to catch up on 2016. Do remember that this year is just as cracking as 2017, for what we say. And just to quickly recap, October, you have the arc, Chapter 2. It's completing the arc. Those things, those foibles that you pointed out in the arc, we have attacked them. We want to make it feel complete. In November, you have Fate of the Gods 2, and a pre-release that takes you to that Fate of the Gods 2, and maybe a bit of bank bidders, a little Storage Wars-esque element. And in December, hey, we have SLISKE'S, Endgame, and Christmas, two of the most contrasting updates I'm sure you'll find. Okay, I hope you're as excited as we are to make it. Thank you very much for coming, and have a wonderful day. Cheers, guys.